Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the search session. In these episodes, we are going to talk about conversion rate optimization. And our guests are going to be two wonderful people, two very expert, where expert is correctly put. And one is Talia Wolf, CEO of GetUplift. And the other one is Ricardo Tayar, CEO of Flat 101. Hi, Talia. Hi, Ricardo. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. It's finally coming for all of us the summertime, not only for the American guys. So we are going to enjoy the longer days. And if we were in a real conversation face to face, I will invite you for a beer after this. But let's do the promise to do it sometimes in the future.
Sounds good.
So,
Yeah.
Talia and Ricardo, today we are going to talk about conversion rate optimization, even if Talia before off stage was telling me that I don't even call it conversion rate optimization. I just call it, what are you calling it, Talia?
Conversion optimization. I just dropped the rate.
Oh yeah, it's already longer. So let's optimize it and make it short. Obviously, in this past episode of a session, a common denominator was, okay, we are living in a period of crisis in the literal etymological term of passage from the old to the new of marketing, let's say, or how things work for us marketers because of the introduction, especially of the AI, but not only because of that, also because we are seeing, especially in the younger generation, different approach to, for instance, searching stuff on internet or approaching the brands on the internet. So, which is quite different from our X generation or even millennial generation, to not talk about the boomer generation. And so I want to start also with you from this generic topic. So how AI is really affecting your work, but not really in what the brands are asking you or what you are seeing from other people, but especially in your daily work. Because this is, for me, the most interesting part of AI in this moment. How are you using AI, for instance, for conversion rate analysis or for behavioral analysis and all these things that usually your profession is really to data, to analysis of data, many times big volumes of data. So I think that AI is going to be a good ally for you. Oh, and I'm wrong.
Well, I'll start.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say one of the things that really we focus on at Get Uplift is garbage in, garbage out. So if you are going to feed, let's say, ChatGPT, rubbish data, that's what you're going to get back. And one of the things that we'll make sure that we do is, yes, we use AI to streamline analysis and to deepen our research in certain areas. But if we really want to get meaningful information or anecdotes or suggestions, we have to make sure that we're feeding it with the most important information. It's not enough for us to just say, age, geographical location, gender of our ICP, but to really get into the nitty gritty and add as much information as possible about our audience, their motivations, their intent, their pains, their hesitations, their concerns, in order to get more information out. So for us, when we think about how do we use AI, a lot of our work is around how much information can we feed it that is the most deep information and critical and meaningful information, so that when we do want to use it for identifying all sorts of insights or finding repeating themes or brainstorming even, we get relevant information that isn't just surface level tactical stuff, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. And you, Ricardo, what are you saying?
Yeah. I think, first of all, that all of us now, we are learning how to use AI in our everyday work. I think the first problem for me is just to have a solid base of knowledge about AI, because it's not easy if you are not used to use AI day by day. So, of course, I completely agree with what Talia has said, because it all depends on what kind of information you give to your AI and what are your expectations. But for me, it's still a time where we are trying different things to see which ones are more useful in our day by day work, and which one of those can we use not only in clients, also for your own productivity. And it's time to learn. I mean, I started with DALI, then with Midjourney, then with Grok, then with Beo from Google. I feel sometimes, I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed. I feel that I have a lot of things to learn, just a few amount of time to do it. So for me, it's time just to be picking the right things and trying to learn what can things work better. So it's difficult. I'm focusing training. I decided some time ago just to be focused on 2 or 3 things, because if you really want to understand the whole thing of AI, it's completely impossible for a single person. So I take care about GPTs, about how to train a GPT just to be a part of your decision making, and how to make good data analysis, and about design. That's the 3 fields that I'm trying to work and to improve my day by day work. But sometimes I really feel overwhelmed with all this stuff and all these tools that all they are giving us new things.
I love that. And I would also add that I think one of the most important things right now is just using it. What we've been doing with our teams is just getting them to use whatever tool they feel is right for them. But as you said, how can I integrate this with my daily tasks that I'm already doing? Because trying to just implement an AI tool isn't going to work. And I found that what I find irritating really is the amount of content right now and posts and people talking about these incredible things they're doing with AI, and that you've got to try this tool and that tool. And there's hundreds of tools, and it does feel overwhelming. But at the end of the day, what I think is a good start is just, as you said, just integrating it with what you're already doing before starting to change everything and all the processes and tools that you're using. How can you integrate it with the stuff that you're already doing? Brainstorming, thinking of new ideas, streamlining processes, streamlining analysis. And I think, yeah, that's definitely the way to go. And I think what I'm doing right now is encouraging my team to just try it out as much as possible. And also just speaking to more and more people to see how they're using it, and trying to kind of drown out a bit of the noise that is the public speaking of AI versus the actual applications of what you can do.
Yeah, that's true. I have a very simple framework that I try to use with the team of Flat 101. That is, first question you have to do to yourselves, it's, what is the problem I have? What is the problem I have? How can I fix this issue? When you know what is the problem you have, then you have to look for which is the solution I need. And when you know what's the solution you need, you have to look for which is the tool that it's going to give me the best solution. And then you have to pick 3 tools, only 3. Then you can try those 3 tools in not a long period of time, but maybe in some 2 or 3 projects. And then you have a good analysis of what of those 3 tools are very useful for you in your daily work. This is what I do, because if I do any other way, there is, as you said, there is a lot of noise, a lot of public speaking, a lot of speeches talking about the magic that we can do.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I need tools that can help me with my daily work. I don't want to find the silver bullet. I want to find tools that are really useful. So this simple framework is, what is your problem? What is the solution you need? Please test the tools that supposed to fix this solution, and then just choose just one or no one, because none of 3 is going to work properly.
Agreed.
Totally agree. I totally agree. Also, in my consultant life, I do almost the same. I somehow feel the obligation to try to at least read everything which can be related to AI in the field of search, obviously, because I'm seeing it every day push up also by Google and all the other environments. But then I really try to understand. I think that AI is, I'm a consultant. I really need AI to help me eventually in making my life easier, streamlining repetitive stuff. Like, and I'm not talking of things like doing title tags or meta. It's really more about, okay, I was taking too much time doing schema with the help of AI with a well instructed prompt and with uploading the documentation, etc., etc., etc. What I was doing in 5 hours, I can do it in 1 hour. So for me, this is what I really need. So I was thinking in this sense also for you. And regarding the brainstorming, and this is something that I shared also in our past episode, I really like to use AI with the thinking reasoning to brainstorm with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially when I know what I want, but I don't know how to express it or how to put it in a sequence, then I follow my own Socratic way to dialogue with myself using AI as it was, let's say, a mirror. So
Yeah.
this is a good way for me to use AI. And then obviously I am having fun, as you, Ricardo, know, with everything image generation, but that is more a fun than anything else. But I was thinking, where are you, what your client now? Are they asking you question in relation to how can we use AI for improving the conversion optimization, for making the user experience smoother, more personalized, and so on?
I would say that it's not as much as I'm hearing my fellow SEOers. When I speak to people, all my friends that do SEO, apparently that's the number one question they get asked. Where I'm seeing it from clients is more when our clients are making decisions about tools and software, whether if it's for A/B testing or heat mapping, or if it's for surveying or any kind of tool they're buying and they're thinking of hiring, there's a question about AI and how it can help them. There's less, at least on my end, there's less questions about how we leverage AI to increase conversions. But what we have asked and we've added to our kind of consent to our contract now is, do you agree for us to use the analysis and all the research that we are conducting in an AI system? Are you okay with that? Obviously stripping all private information, but using it to analyze information, because as you said, we do use it to cut analysis time in half and create all sorts of reports. So that's where I'm seeing it. I don't know, Ricardo, if you're seeing more requests from that end.
To be honest, I think that clients really don't care about the amount of AI we use in our work. They really care about the profit they can have from our work. I think it's more an internal question of our companies than an external one. Most of the clients ask to me, hey, which are the tools that we have to be considering? And I think that's a problem because everybody is thinking in tools.
Yeah.
So they are looking for the next big thing in tools. Just please give me the tool. And I think this is not a question about tools. We've been talking before about tools. Hey, you have to check, you have to look for some tools. You have to check by yourself if they are useful for you or not. In CRO, in my experience these years, clients really don't care about the amount of AI you use. It's something that you have to use to boost your process and also have a little bit of consultancy about, please select the right development stack or the right tech stack for you taking side of the AI. But I don't feel they are looking for AI right now in CRO. I feel that they are looking for some tools that they can improve or they can use in their internal processes. And this is the kind of questions I have. And of course, a very big hype around everything that it's about AI, because now everybody's talking about the Studio Ghibli characters that you can do with GPT-4o. and all these kind of things. But to be honest, that's noise. That is not something that we can use in a CRO process. And that's noise, but it's like the jaw dropping thing, you know. But it's in CRO, we are always speaking about business, about profit, about how can we boost things and how can we do that things work better. So the amount of AI that we use in the projects, really, it's not important for the clients. They only want to see that the things that we are doing are the right ones. So I think it's more an internal question than an external one.
Yeah, I definitely want to add that one of the things that I find really problematic is the obsession with tools. And it's not just AI. It's been like this for many years. And it puts people on this hamster wheel, right? Because what happens is if we look at the general conversion optimization approach, right? Like you find a leak in the funnel, you make some sort of change, and you A/B test and you hope that there's a result. That's just simplifying it. What happens is it's very easy to find where the leak in the funnel is using tools like GA4. Okay. And it is relatively easy to also launch an A/B test if you have the right tools and the right people. The biggest problem is knowing what to test. What changes should I make that will actually increase conversion? Now, what happens is because people don't have the process and they're not strategic about it, they do one of a few things. They follow best practices, stuff that people are writing on LinkedIn, or if they Google a best practice on, and they find some articles that promise them a 300% uplift, or they're copying competitors because they think competitors know what they're doing. And what happens is, you do best practices, you copy competitors. What happens is everyone ends up sounding and looking exactly the same. And then you're still not getting the results that you want. So what do? You look for tools. And it's like this lazy, and people aren't trying to be lazy, but it's this feeling that like, if I just get that right tool, then everything will be solved. So you spend a ton of money and a ton of time and resources on onboarding these annoying tools that at the end of the day, you still have to insert strategy to. People lean on tools like they're a crutch. And what they should be doing is they should be a tool. You should have, as you said before, Ricardo, here's a problem that I'm trying to solve. Maybe it's, I don't know, my client, my customers, my ICPs come to a website and they don't know that I'm the right tool for them, or they can't easily see that this was built for the kind of work that they do. Then okay, here's a problem I need to solve. Then you can look for a tool to solve it. But what people are actually doing is they're out there looking for a bunch of tools and the next big thing, and they're trying to implement all this stuff, and they spend 6 months onboarding the whole team. And then they're like, okay, so what should we test? Oh, I don't know. Let's Google best practices because no one knows. There's no strategy behind these tools. Everyone just thinks they can frame stuff, which is software and tools. And because that's all everyone is speaking about. And you see all these people talking about how amazing DALL-E is or Midjourney or whatever, like all these tools are out there. It just puts everyone on this hamster wheel, and they're never going to get the results that they want because they're never actually going back to the problem of what are they trying to solve? What is the actual problem? So for me, the tool thing, as you can see, I'm very passionate about this. It drives me nuts.
I think that this is a problem common to everybody. I think it's for SEO is the same. What tool can we use to optimize our website? First of all, try to understand why you must optimize your website. What's wrong? The tools are simply tools, can eventually hint, and not always in the correct way, that something is happening wrong. But I was saying, connecting to my world of SEO to your world, I think that we have field in common, because when I talk about strategy for SEO, I usually use the framework of a messy middle. So people are receiving input from outside, can be offline or online, maybe watching television, for instance, and they start a search, and then go to a research phase, and then consideration, they go up to a funnel for further searching for information, and then going like a spiral, then ending finally on a website. And I usually use this framework because to also explain why Google is pushing people staying on Google, or why you can see people starting from, let's say, TikTok, then go to ChatGPT, then go to search, then go again to ChatGPT, and then going to Reddit to ask for a question and clicking on the link that in the thread is presented. So this is to explain how SEO should be, a website should be visible in every channel. But then finally ends hopefully on your website. And how much CRO and UX, and then also the technical side of SEO can work together, should work together in order to fulfill the common purpose, which is, I was going to say the glorious purpose like Loki, the purpose of making your client earning more money, earning more leads, etc., etc., etc. I think this is our common field. Don't you agree?
It's a complex question, I think.
No, I say how much technical SEO, for instance, in everything like speed, but not only speed, then UX, like so usability of a website and conversion rate can work together. It's the right framework in order to not always thinking in silos.
Yeah, but I think we have to forget, first of all, I think that the first thing we have to forget is talking about conversion rate optimization, or stop talking about conversion rate, as Talia have said before. I've spent the last 3 or 4 years telling people that please don't look at conversion rate optimization. You have to think in, yes. Do you know how we call it? We call it business experience optimization. That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Business experience optimization. And that's something that it's okay for almost every field of knowledge. You know, what we do is business experience optimization, and A/B testing and all these fantastic tools are just tools.
Yeah.
Are just tools. The key of optimization only relies in 3 things, just 3 things. First of all, is understanding. It's impossible to solve something that you don't understand. So first of all is understanding. Understanding is not guessing. Understanding, it's really understand which are the motivations of your clients, the difficulties they are finding, all these kind of things. First thing is understanding. Second thing is creativity. Still, big things that really move the needle. This is something we say in Spain. I don't know if you say in other countries, move the needle. The things that really move the needle relies on creativity. So creativity is risk. You have to take some risk because you really don't know if something creative is going to work or not. That you have to risk. And of course, very big companies really hate risk, don't want to risk. And the third thing, it's innovation. And this is the part of the AI. So we can put a lot of innovation here about the way we work with data, the way we work with synthetic users, the way we work with content. I think the whole thing is connected. I cannot have a good business experience, a good digital business experience if SEO is not going side by side with me. You know, this is have sense for you. I'm asking because I think it's an ecosystem. You know, I think one of the main problems is that a lot of projects are worked in silos, you know, so I do my SEO part, and of course I've done my part. So please don't tell me about conversion rate because I've done my part and my part is running okay. No, your part is connected to the SEO part also.
I agree. And I would say, I mean, so we call it customer first optimization. And the reason we call it that is because you're optimizing your experience for your customers. And if you help your customers achieve their goals, you achieve your own. And really, one of the things that I speak about is the connection between SEO and CRO. And I only started this year because it's funny, but I think it was maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I got up on stage at Search Love in London and I said, here's all this thing about conversion optimization and why you should care. And the feedback I got back was, this isn't connected to SEO. So I think people do, as you said, Ricardo, they like to be in their own silos. But here's a fact, okay? Almost every single search online is infused with emotion. We're not just entering account management. We're entering, like we're searching with our frustrations or the something that we're looking with or the emotion that goes with it. And that means that you need to connect the search term, the intent that drove people to your website with your website. You have to show the connection between them. And if SEOs aren't being, judged or looked at in terms of conversions, then we have a problem, because it should all work in one way. We should all be helping each other. SEO should be feeding CRO. CRO should be feeding SEO, and the silos between marketing and sales and products, this is what's creating all this mess. And then it just feels like different experiences. But you're right in saying that at the end of the day, if you connect everything, then that's when you get the cohesive one flow of real high converting customer experiences that give you the results that you want. Because if everything's disconnected, then that's what it's going to look like. Everything has to be connected.
I totally agree, because just as you are substantially not calling 0, I'm not calling SEO, because for me it's not search engine optimization. A part of it, which one of the many engines? And for me, it's search experience optimization. It's trying to optimize for being visible. In this case, visibility is the main metric. When people search for something, for a solution, for a service, for a product, for what I want to do tonight with my wife or with my boyfriend, something like this. So it's really about search. And obviously the search must be consistent and pushing people on the website of your client. And in this sense, I think that because so much time the brand is seen in search environments, which are not their website, maybe some principle, like you were saying, Talia, of user experience optimization in this sense, and related to sentiment, is needed also for SEO answer for what these snippets of the website that are presented by Google, by Bing, by ChatGPT, and so on, in order to make it your snippable content, the one used by these environments, the most memorable. Because at the end of the day, it's visibility. And if you're not able to stand out among all the other results, but you look like exactly as the other search results or the other mention, then people are not going to remind you, and they are not going to make the branded searches, which is the growing phenomenon that I'm seeing actually. So in this sense, I think that even more this breaking the silos is something that we need to do. And Ricardo, I think you also agree, because you were talking about creativity. Just a curiosity, what is the most crazy thing that you are tested lately?
Because I think the most crazy thing we have tested right weeks ago is completely redesign all messages, images, and all the things we are telling to the people about a product we are trying to sell. The original approach was very corporative, very message, just focus on technical things about the product. And we redefine it completely. It was something risky, because we are going to change completely the approach in writing, in the images we are using, and about the way we present price, And we do a complete redesign on absolutely all the funnel, all the ads, all the landing pages, all the snippets in the search engine experience. And it works so well. We multiplied by 6 the amount of sales, 15% less amount in ads. But for me, the point in this thing about creativity is that it's difficult for a company to get the amount of risk that goes with doing crazy things, because everybody is afraid of breaking what is working. So you have to balance between creativity and please don't break my business. Please don't.
Yeah, because you maybe risk to do something like Jaguar.
Yeah, that's what we do, and we have just other crazy things in our own projects, because we have some e-commerce that we run and that we manage with our own products, and then we can test absolutely crazy things. But this particular case was very, very successful, and I feel grateful because this company allow us to test crazy things. Not all company do.
Right. Okay, guys, I'm really love to continue, but I know that Talia has her time quite strictly, so we have left just a few minutes, and I don't want to miss the first questionnaire that I do to all the guests. So really fast question about things that could be answered really fast, almost without thinking. And let's see what's coming out. Let's try. Let's start with Talia. Talia, what is the sound that you like the most?
The what?
The sound.
The sound that I like the most?
Yes.
The sea.
Oh, the waves of the sea.
Well, I go to the sea quite a lot and to the beach, and I love listening to the sound of the sea and just like the waves.
And you, Ricardo?
Oof, I balance between, I also really love the sound of sea, but I have to balance between the laugh of my family, the laugh of my children or my wife. Yes, that's right. Ooh, from the heart, the laugh of my family and a very good guitar riff.
I was imagining this last one.
Yes.
And what's on the contrary? What's turning you off, Talia?
What turns me off? Oh, what turns me off? Well, to be honest, I think at this point it's working at the weekend. That's my working weekends turns me off. I don't do that anymore. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I agree. And I add for me, excuses.
Yes.
Especially cheap excuses.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone that comes with a problem and just doesn't have solutions for you to just like all you do is complain and
Just be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I can understand you if you are honest, but if you are trying to just find an excuse,
is it to say how to do?
Yeah. So, and what's your favorite food?
I'm vegan, so
no jamon. So no jamon.
No jamon, though I remember it being nice. My favorite food is probably a good pasta or a good stir-fry tofu.
I'm not vegan, so as I'm
Come
not
on.
vegan, I will say no. Jamon, yes, of course. But I really love tomahawk.
Oh, nice.
Not bad. Okay, so last question before closing this up. Let me try to find. What is the last book that you read and really, really loved to read?
Business book or just book?
I mean, every kind of book, not necessarily business.
Right now, I'm rereading What If by Randall Munroe, which isn't really like a one read. It's more like I just enjoy opening it up. And it's a book about just like random questions, like what if Earth crashed into a this and this would happen? Or what if rain would stop suddenly? Or I don't know, what if all glass was shattered suddenly? And
it's a signal of curiosity, this kind of question.
Yeah, I thought, Talia, that you were talking about the What If Marvel series.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, also, the first season wasn't so good.
Oh, Daredevil is like my favorite show right now. And yeah, there's obviously What If season 1, 2, and 3 were incredible. So are we talking about shows? I can geek out about that.
Yeah, that's a graphic novel counts as a book or a comic book.
Of course.
Yes. Well, I rather choose a book. The last book I really enjoyed is Confession. It's the biography of Rob Halford, the singer of Judas Priest.
Cool.
Well, mine is a very boring book for everybody who don't like history, but it's called 1117 before Christ. It's when the Bronze Age collapsed. So it's really cool because it's a sort of Sherlock Holmes archaeological investigative journey with all these not so many relics and facts that we can have of 3,000 years ago, and that explain how all the eastern part of Mediterranean was like now our world, global civilization, and all of a sudden crashed in just 100 years. And
Wow.
for 500 years, it was a sort of middle age, and then came the Greeks, came the Romans, and a new reborn. Like in the wheel of time, when the wheel stop the turn and collapse everything, and the turn will return to start. So thank you so much, Talia and Ricardo. It was a beautiful, beautiful conversation. I learned a lot from you. I clear up. No, seriously, because I'm an SEO, but I'm a curious SEO. What if SEO could do what the Romans have done to us? What Crow Zero can do to us, SEO, and what we can do for CRO is surely something that always interested me and I wanted to learn. And I'm sure that all our listeners and watchers have learned too. So about the watcher, you watchers and listeners, remember to click on the bell, subscribe. You can listen this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, watch it on YouTube, read the transcription on the Advanced Web Ranking blog. So you cannot escape from this wonderful conversation. Okay, thank you
Thank you,
again.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye.